do you feel that when a woman comes to you about like PCOS or they're there's different things that come into our lifestyle, right? Like you have PCOS from like a sensitivity on something and I don't know what, but they still want to go out and drink alcohol and you know like where do you see the sacrifice coming? Because I know with my own journey, for example, with us, I told you straight up like I drink on the weekends. I enjoy it, whatever. I would drink at the beginning when I first met you, before I even went on the elimination diet. So we said we were going to do elimination diet after supper because I'd take two bachelorettes and I'd weddings. Yeah. I'm like, Zein, you were like, there is no way. Remember, they were like, there's no way you're going to, like, we are going to start it in September, October, whatever it was. But at the beginning, when we first started, you were like, here are little lifestyle changes you can do in your life. Cutting out dairy, for example, because, I suffer with PCOS, the hormones, reducing maybe the amount of alcohol and what type of alcohol I was drinking. For example, in the morning when I make smoothies, which I already do, adding flax seeds and chia seeds, they were like these little lifestyle changes that made a big difference. I'm like, in those 3 months, even though I was on holiday and I was going out and all that, I still lost like 4 kilos just by doing these little lifestyle changes. We hadn't even touched the elimination diet yet. When there's a client that comes to you, kind of like me, that was like, I still want to do all my shit. I want to go out. I want to party, Like, how can I have both? How can I have the functional nutrition and how can I still maintain my lifestyle? Do you believe there's sacrifice no matter what if you want to take the journey to healing yourself? And do you have to mentally prepare for that lifestyle? Because I know myself, I had to mentally prepare for that fucking elimination diet.
Yeah.
I had to mentally prepare myself. I mean, yeah, obviously that's the extreme, but when people come to you, are you like, you need to prepare for sacrifice or kind of don't do it until you're ready?
It's very by individual. I really need to read the client and meet them halfway. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And it really depends on the case. Like I have people with celiac. There's no halfway.
There's no halfway with that for sure.
Boot camp, yeah. But to be very honest, I have worked with clients who have worked with practitioners before, and they came to me after, and I saw why they couldn't adhere to whatever the previous practitioner gave them.
Yeah.
The journey does not need to be jail.
Okay.
It does need to be legit and it does need to adhere to a lot of rules for it to work. But I am not from the school of Nazi camp dieting,
like super, super strict. Because I also feel like that makes you not want to do it. There's like a psychological part to it that if you're telling me don't do this, I'm like, well, fuck that. I mean, I can meet you halfway, but I'm not going to complete, but I also feel like though, then the other part of me is like, but there is some sort of sacrifice you do need to make.
But Mahua, that's what I'm trying to tell you is, I do share with the client what the book says and how they should be doing it by the book, but I do meet them halfway, And for the first 4 weeks of the elimination, usually 4, 3, 4, 6, really depends on the GI map results. It's usually the strictest, remember, like that's when you really need to move even certain vegetables and certain fruits and all that.
That was the hardest 4 weeks of my life. But when you finish that, when you are like, oh, like you feel there's a proud of yourself that like I've never felt honestly before was, forget that. I mean, I lost 11.5 kilos with Zein, but even putting that aside, like you feeling like I fucking did that shit. Like I was able, when I went out, because you would tell me like, you can go out to the birthday, whatever, but try ordering these things. But there is some sort of sacrifice, but you're saying it's, per client of how much they need to sacrifice, right?
Yeah. I mean, really, it really depends on the client, but it's a journey that needs commitment. And that needs commitment in terms of not just the actual elimination diet, but the exit. I mean, remember?
Yes.
I told you like the exit is actually harder than the real deep, the abyss of it, because that's when you start to really form your know-how of how to live life, which is, 4 weeks ago, I did not need to think. I could eat this and I could eat that.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Yes, because you
do
know,
it.
you have the list. Yes.
No, I don't need to think right now. Okay, I need to think, and I'm on my own. There's no guideline. So that's where I think people need to understand, and it's a journey. That's why we call it like a journey, at least of 4 to 6 months. Definitely there needs to be mental preparation, and there needs to be awareness and knowledge that
Yes.
this modality will help me.
Mm-hmm.
Because you need to
yes.
believe, not just because Lana
100%.
did it, or
Yeah.
I need to turn on the AC. I'm gonna take you with me.
Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry.